Hello and welcome to another episode of Dream Home Cooking. Today I have a comfort menu. I'm going to show y'all how I make my Brunswick stew as well as my delicious homemade pimento cheese. And then with the homemade pimento cheese, I'm going to show y'all how I make these delicious sourdough grilled cheese pimento cheese sandwiches. It goes so well with the Brunswick stew. So before I get started, I also want to say that today I'm going to have a very, very special guest with me. He's going to be joining me starting in the next segment. He and his wife Kathleen are just precious people. They're some of our best friends. We've known them for 3 decades, and he's opening up a wonderful restaurant here in Huntsville in the spring, and I can't wait for him to get here, and we'll tell y'all all about it and all the details, and he's going to cook with me. So before he gets here, before we get going on the next segment, I'm going to show y'all how I make my homemade pimento cheese. You want to start with a 1/2 cup of mayo. I'm a Hellmann's girl. I've said that before. You can use whatever is your favorite, just not Miracle Whip. So this is Hellmann's. And so to that, I'm going to add this 4-ounce jar of diced pimentos. And I do drain most of the juice out of it, but it's okay if there's a little bit left in there. This is super simple. This makes a lot. You can put them in the cute little jars. A lot of times I'll do it at Christmas for friends and family. Give it to them with a little pack of crackers. All right, a tablespoon of Worcestershire goes into that, and that was 1 medium-sized jalapeno that I washed and de-seeded because it's got a lot of heat in it. You can certainly leave that jalapeno out. We like it with a little kick. If you do use the jalapeno, just be real careful. Use gloves, because if you don't and you touch your eye later, it's going to burn. So in this little cup here, I've got a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and just a tiny dash of cayenne pepper, and you can leave that out if you want. This is a tablespoon of sugar. Sounds crazy, but it just adds that nice little what is that kind of ingredient in it. Okay, so then I'm going to mix this a little bit before I add the cheeses, and I normally do this with my stand-up mixer, but I was too lazy to get it out, so we're going to say a little prayer and hope that my little handheld mixer will cut through this. I just want to give that a little stir, and then I'm going to gradually add the cheeses. So what I have in this bowl are 2 8-ounce packages of mild cheddar and 2 8-ounce packages of extra sharp white cheddar. And it's super important when you're making homemade pimento cheese, you always want to grade your own cheese. No matter what, because something in those prepackaged shredded cheeses, those are wonderful for shortcuts, but certain recipes you don't want to use it. It just totally changes the consistency. So just remember that. Same with when I do sausage balls. I always grade my own cheese. All right, so I'm going to start with this so I don't overwhelm the hand mixer. And if it seems like it's a tad dry, you can always go back and add a little more mayo. Okay, so I'm going to add the rest. This is excellent the next day. It's always better when it sits 24 hours or the longer it sits. I mean, it'll last in your fridge for at least a week, if not longer. But it never gets to that point around here because everybody loves it. And we eat it with crackers. We put it on hamburgers. We make grilled cheeses with it. So I think you guys will enjoy having this recipe. So I am super excited about y'all meeting Glenn, and this restaurant idea of his has been a long time in the making, and he is an amazing, amazing cook. And his specialty is barbecue. Anytime we have an event, we'll get him to do it, or when we get together at the lake in the summertime, he's always cooking something up good. And I think everybody out in the Monrovia area will be so excited to have his restaurant, HickoryStore Barbecue, right there in their neck of the woods. Okay, so this takes a little bit of elbow grease, but you can see the hand mixer worked just fine. So if you're thinking you have to get your big old stand-up mixer out, you don't have to, but I am going to have to do something about this. I get a fork and just push it off of there because that's too much goodness to go to waste. And then all I do is cover this with some saran wrap, put it in the fridge, and then I'll get it into some cute little jars later. But it's important that it goes in the fridge so it can all, marinate and the flavors come together. So I'll put this away, and when we come back, I will have Glenn with me, and I will show y'all how I make my Brunswick stew.
In choosing a contractor in today's market, finding someone that is going to take care of you and make sure that you're happy with their product, with the quality, it's not an easy task today. The most important thing to me is doing what you say you're going to do, taking care of the customer, installing a product that is superior. My motto is, call the lady with a team you can trust, and I feel confident that we are a team that you can trust.
Hey guys, come on in.
Hey Troy.
Yeah, let me show you around.
Wow.
As the Acme Brick spokesperson, I get paid in brick. All the brick I want. Solid. What? Too much? To get Acme Brick quality, look for the Acme name. And here's the guest room. Hope you like a firm mattress.
My father started this business in 1977. The people that work for us is part of what sets us apart. All of our employees have experience. All of our plumbers have been with us for 10 years or greater. Our motto at Dean & Son is quality and service. We're going to do quality work. We don't leave people hanging. We're there when we're supposed to be. We're done when we're supposed to be. Living up to what you sell and service them after they pay you, that's where your integrity in the plumbing business comes.
Dean & Son Plumbing Company. Call today at 518-9780.
All right, we're back, and as promised, I've got my good friend Glenn with me in the kitchen. This is Glenn McAlpin.
Hello.
Longtime friend of Mike and I's, and your sweet wife too, Kathleen. Yeah. But we're going to make a Brunswick stew today because Glenn, we were talking this summer, we were hanging out at the lake, and he was talking about some things he wanted to put on the menu, and he said, wintertime Brunswick stew would be awesome.
Absolutely.
So I said, have you ever had mine? And he said, no. So I said, all right, we got to do a cooking show. Let me make the base. And then he brought his delicious 2 pounds of pulled pork that he cooked. I guess you cooked the butts last night.
I did,
smoked
yes,
them, and,
I did last
yeah.
night. Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling y'all, best barbecue you'll ever eat. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of butter, and I just kind of let it melt. And then this is 1 medium onion that I chopped. But this is one of those super duper easy one-pot wonders, I call them. And I don't normally cook with a lot of canned stuff, but this is just one of those recipes that you can do it and people go, oh my gosh, this is so good. And it's cost effective and it's something quick. And when it's cold, it's really, really good.
Nothing better when it's
Oh,
cold.
yeah. Okay, so you want to saute these for maybe 7-8 minutes. And then I'm just going to add the garlic. This is 3 tablespoons of just garlic cloves.
Oh yeah, you can smell it.
So, oh yeah. So Glenn and his wife Kathleen bought a woodland home. What do we figure? 23 years ago.
23 years ago. Yes, that's correct.
So, the closest friends we have are people that Mike sold a house to back in the day. It's so funny.
Crazy.
The Boltons, y'all, we just have a good time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and if you want to grab that can of crushed tomatoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can just dump that in there. And this is the easy part where you just kind of just pop everything. And then I'll grab this chicken broth. This is 2 cans of chicken broth. And then the best thing about this is just dumping everything, and then we'll just let it simmer, 30 minutes, an hour, however long you want. This is a kind of a little secret ingredient. This is 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar. And it just gives it a little, that barbecue place we loved, it just had a little bit of sweetness to it.
Y'all make a note of that. That's a secret ingredient.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You use that too, don't you, in some of your stuff? Okay. And then I've got 1/2 cup of ketchup. And some people say, ooh, I don't know about that, but don't leave it out because I think it's important. And then where you might want to put your spin on this, Glenn, is your I know you do a barbecue sauce. You can put any barbecue sauce you like, just for purposes of being able to, for everybody to have this is Sweets Baby Ray's.
That's good.
Sweet Baby Ray's. I just used the original. Yeah, so it's 1/2 cup of that with 1/2 cup of the ketchup. And then I've got, if you want to grab that can of tomatoes, it's just the petite diced. So then 2 cans of diced potatoes. I made this one time and my brother goes, Sissy, how did you get those potatoes all cut so perfect and the same size?
Came in a can.
That's the secret, I know. And then some baby lima beans.
Yum.
Yeah, and then 1 can of whole kernel corn.
Got it.
And then 1 can of cream corn. And that kind of helps with the consistency too. Because I like a thick Brunswick stew. Don't get me. I've gone through to some drive-throughs with some barbecue places, and it's like dishwater.
So like soup?
Like 3 little pieces of pork floating in there. I'm
No,
like,
we're gonna put the
we
pork
gotta
in there
have
today.
all kinds. Yep. Okay, and then if you want to grab that cup of water and and the spices too.
Absolutely.
It's a cup of water that you add, and then the spices I put in there. It's 1.5 teaspoons each of salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And as always, once you make this and it simmers for a little bit, I always go back and you probably do too, just taste it and see if you want more salt in it or what have you. Okay, do with it. Oh, and then I like to do just a little.
Don't forget that hot sauce.
A little hot sauce. And you can leave that out if you want, but it doesn't make it overly heated. And now for the best part is we're going to put some HickoryStore barbecue pork in there. So normally I do 1 pound to 1.5 pounds. Glenn was so generous to bring 2 pounds, so we're going to go ahead and put it all in there because I think the more the better. It'll just be hearty. So if you want to grab that, Glenn, and we'll get that.
I can just dump it in there, or I can.
Yeah, we can just, because it's mostly chopped.
It is all pulled, yes.
Yeah.
Most fat out of it, but there may be a little bit left in there. But.
And what I used to do before I knew Glenn was I'd just go through a drive-through barbecue place and get a pound of pork. So now I could go to HickoryStore in the spring of 2023, get some pulled pork. All right, and then we can put that in there. Yep. And then we're just going to.
There you go.
Yeah, so you want to put the heat up to about medium until it comes to not really a boil, but just where you kind of know it's getting good and heated through.
Smells great already.
Thank you. Yeah, and then once you kind of see that it's heated through and almost boiling, I'll turn it to low and cover it and just let it simmer. You can let it simmer as long as an hour if you want. Okay, so that's the Brunswick stew. So we're going to let this simmer, and we come back. I am going to get my pimento cheese out, and we're going to make some sourdough grilled pimento cheese sandwiches.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, years ago, we researched different cabinet companies. Wellborn was the cabinet company that we decided to go with. Wellborn has a lot of your custom style building like we did in the local cabinet shops years ago. You just can't go wrong with a product like that with Wellborn. On top of that, Wellborn has researchers that are out in the market every day. Their job is to see what's current in the market, what's selling, and what their dealers need to be showing in their showroom. So come out, let me help you design your kitchen with Wellborn products.
Choosing an appliance can be complicated these days. That's why at Bob Wallace Appliance, we start by asking questions like an occasional cook or a serious chef, something just for you or an army, once a week or once a day. You see, it's not just what we know about appliances, it's what we know about you. Bob Wallace Appliance, locally owned and operated for more than 35 years. Online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
When you select Wolde Flooring's hardwood, you don't just enhance your home, you transform it. With hundreds of beautiful, durable, hand-selected varieties that come with up to a 50-year warranty, you can count on unsurpassed beauty and proven durability that's guaranteed to stand the test of time. When you want the best flooring for your home, come to Wolde Flooring in Madison. WoldeFlooring.com, 256-325-8453.
Since 1983, individuals and businesses in Alabama have relied on Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South for their legal representation. Our experienced attorneys offer high-quality legal counsel in commercial law, real estate, and personal injury litigation. So if you need an attorney, hire the best attorney you can. Call the experienced North Alabama attorneys at Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South to arrange your initial consultation, because we're dedicated to setting the standard for legal services.
Okay, we're back, and now we've got the Brunswick stew simmering, and now I'm going to do these grilled pimento cheese sandwiches.
That looks so good.
So it's so, you know, if I'm going to buy pimento cheese, there's one brand that I like, but it's so easy to make it, you know, and it's good, and it's good just like this, dipping with a spoon or crackers or whatever, but we're going to take it up a level today. So I'm going to put just a generous spread on here. This is super simple. But this is, good. Oh, I know, that's right. Everybody loves grilled cheese. And this is sourdough bread. I like it because it's a sturdy bread. It kind of holds up. So this, I'm just going to build one, and then I'm going to wait to do the others because Mike will be here and we'll want to have our sandwiches fresh. But one thing that I learned, do you ever put mayonnaise on the outside of your grilled cheese?
No, always on the inside.
Well, it's a game changer. It's something about it just makes that bread just super crunchy, and you don't need a lot. And I know there are people like my daughter who despise mayonnaise, but she's like, Mom, this is good. You know, you don't have to like mayonnaise to do this. I promise. It'll make it crunchy.
It's going to go away, isn't it?
Yep. And then I put a little butter and cooking spray on the griddle. I've got this griddle to about 350. I did this one time on the grill behind me, and it went poof in the...
That would have been fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to let that melt a little bit before I put that grilled cheese on there. So Glenn, so the big, huge news, and the reason I wanted to have you on the show today was...
And I appreciate you having me.
Oh, listen, really it's my pleasure. We love you and Kathleen like family, and we are so super excited about this journey coming up that y'all got a lot going on.
It's on a rail.
Baby girl getting married, and a restaurant coming around spring 2023.
I think so, yeah. Shooting for 2023 spring. That'd be perfect.
And I think what Glenn is doing is just brilliant, because he's got things on the menu. You're going to have things on the menu like your pork egg rolls.
Yes, I am.
A pulled pork egg roll. The first time he brought them out to our house this summer, we were like, oh my gosh, there's nothing better. I mean, it's just amazing. So you can't find any other barbecue places that do things like that. So, and your smoked chicken salad.
Yeah, smoked chicken salad. And
that is, what do you call, I think it is famous now.
It's almost famous. You know, Kathleen says, I think it's probably famous now, but to me it's not famous yet, but hopefully it will be at some
all
point.
Of us agree with Kathleen. I think it is famous, but the restaurant is going to be on Blake Bottom Road.
It is.
Just to be able to leave work, go down Blake Bottom, run through there, because it'll have a drive-through, right?
It will, yes.
And then a place inside to sit.
Yeah, and then about 45 people on the inside and at least 50 or 60 on the outside. It'll be a covered social space, kind of.
That's awesome. And it's HickoryStore Barbecue. And we'll run this episode a couple of times, leading up to it. And I think we need to get you some media coverage out there, too, because, wow, I got this grilled cheese wanting to do its own thing. Now, if Friday were here, and he'll be here in a little bit, he wants that about twice as dark.
Crunchy.
I could almost burn things, and he'd be happy. Yeah, so this is well on its way to being a nice, crunchy,
looks great
grilled cheese. So what was it that inspired you or wanted you to make HickoryStore just come alive?
So that brand came to me back in the late 90s, and I loved cooking barbecue. And it started out with I built a little cinder block barbecue pit in my backyard, and I would stay out there at night and cook, and then I went from there to a stick burner that cooked instead of 8 butts. It could hold 30, so I could feed more people.
Oh, wow.
I just always had this dream about having my own place and serving the community, and it's just kind of coming.
And here it is. It's about to come true.
It is going to come true, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, me too. And I think it'll be a huge asset and a big old blessing to everybody in the community, because you probably cook, or you do cook the best barbecue we've ever had. So
I mean, it's pretty good.
It's very good.
It's funny. I came about some of these recipes by thinking about waste and not having to waste so much food, and that's where the baby back rib egg rolls came from.
The baby. That's right. The baby back rib egg rolls.
We got back ribs left over, and one day I had some back ribs left over, and I pulled the meat off and had some egg roll wrappers and made some creamy slaw and rolled them up.
And
really
it's
good.
incredible, yeah. And then you have a very special potato salad recipe you do. Your your beans, everything is amazing. Dylan, our son, he's known you since before he was born.
Yep.
And he always called Mr. Glenn, Mr. Glenn, the sauce man, is he coming over? Because Glenn always makes all these sauces, and they're all so good.
And we'd go to the beach, and down there they have the smoked tuna dip, and
oh yeah,
and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I can make that. So
yeah.
I came home and got some yellowfin and put it on my pit and came up with a recipe, and it's fabulous.
So good.
And
And he does
good.
these candied jalapenos that you put on there.
Make all kind of stuff.
It's
I got to be moving around in the
good.
kitchen. I'm having fun. So.
Well, and I think it's a gift because Mike, there's a mustard sauce that we've ordered for years online.
Yeah.
And he gave it to you and said, see if you can do something.
I did.
And I'll be darned if it didn't taste better than the
I don't know if it was better, but it's
it
pretty
was. I
good.
mean, and it was spot on and even better. So, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out now. I've been working with people about getting it co-packed and branded with our brand on it, so we can
that would be amazing.
offer that to the community as well. So.
Yeah, so good things coming ahead. So I guess we need to probably wrap this up with this segment. Mike's going to be here when we come back, and we'll finish up these grilled cheeses and try the Brunswick stew. I'm anxious for you to try it.
I can't wait.
With
Smells
your
wonderful.
pulled pork in there. So.
Oh, it's going to be good without it, I'm sure.
Oh,
It
no.
smells wonderful.
All right, we'll be back.
This little area has grown from 5,000 or 6,000 families to 40,000 families live out here now. So when this thing is organic, I mean, this was in my mind, and my wife and I collaborated about it for several years before we actually ever even met with the architect. And I had it drawn out, and one of my buddies said, that patio's not big enough. I said, what do you think? He said, I don't know, something maybe like 20 by 50. I'm like, I think it'll work. I wanted the black and white theme. I think it's cool. And then those columns we're gonna stain those a dark walnut, so it'll kind of match that black. And we did the herringbone up top where the logo's going, or the name of the company's going, and the light shine on it and let it just kind of be, just hopefully what the community wants. I think a lot of it is the personality that you put into it. I've developed rubs over the years and sauces over the years that go well with my product, and we started doing this whole thing came about from my smoked chicken salad. You're like, what are you doing sitting behind a computer? You need to be making this chicken salad. So just different things like that. The chicken salad's going to be different. I make sausage and boudin from Louisiana's cuisine. I love that. What I really want to do is offer what I would consider the basics every day, and then I'll have a special every day. And the burn-ins will definitely be a weekly special, but things like that. But I've told people all over this area that I'm doing this for me and my family, because I love it. But I'm doing it for the community, just to come hang out. I mean, get out of the house, come hang out here.
Okay, we're back, and I got Mike.
Got my buddy
as
Glenn
always.
here too.
Glad to be here.
I'm gonna let y'all chat, and I'm gonna finish up these grilled cheese sandwiches that I'm doing.
Y'all been talking about barbecue today, huh?
A little bit.
What is it that's going to separate the Hickory Store, in your opinion, from like other barbecue restaurants in Huntsville?
Well, I tell you, you can spend a lot of money on a pit, but you can also make excellent barbecue out of a very inexpensive stick burner. And I think a lot of it is the wood you use, the process you go through, the rubs you use. One thing I always say is there's always that human element.
Sure.
So if you can dial that human element piece in, and that
You can
passion.
tell you cook with love.
Yeah, it definitely.
So
comes through.
you do your own rub.
I do.
Okay, and I guess you do your own barbecue sauce, and I
do.
I guess you're the king of sauces. So
That's what I've been told. I don't know.
I told the story about him doing the sauce we like, the mustard
Yeah.
sauce. He nailed it.
yeah. So what can somebody look forward to when they go there?
So one of the things we are going to have is basically called a quick serve. So you'll have choices though. You can come up and order, and we'll call your name when your food's ready, or we've got it set up to where you can actually click a QR code on the table and order from your table and pay at your table.
Oh,
and that order will actually fall into place with the orders at the counter, and your name will be called out as that order is prepared.
Right.
So that's one of the things we're doing there. And another thing is we've got about a 1,200 square foot heated outdoor space that we're gonna
out
offer.
there?
Got a big fireplace we built
nice.
out there for the
So it's kind of going
community
to
to
end up
enjoy.
being like just a little local barbecue hangout place. Where you can
I
go
hope it's
and-
going
Like
to be
Cheers.
a barbecue joint. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
barbecue joint. Yeah. Lord, give me some ideas about some menu items.
We're gonna have we've chosen the baby back rib as a choice of ribs, and so we'll do half racks,
Can't go
whole
wrong with
racks.
that.
And you've had the egg rolls, the baby back rib egg
we got
rolls.
the
They're so good.
The egg rolls are going to be there. The smoked chicken salad we talked about earlier, but your traditional pulled pork sandwich, we're going to offer a pulled chicken, smoked chicken sandwich as well.
Yeah.
During the holidays, I'm hoping that's going to be on the menu, the Brunswick stew that we're talking about. I've got my mom's recipe for the cheese straws. We're going to have cheese straws we offer during the holidays, and sausage balls and stuff like that. And I thought one thing that was going to be cool is during Lent we're going to offer fish fry Fridays.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
and offer some people that choose not to eat the meat during Lent. We're going to have fish fries. So
That's a
that'll
great
be some-
idea.
It's just something for the community. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we're probably going to do some crawfish boils in the spring when the crawfish are in season, and just something different for the
Sure,
community
yeah.
to enjoy.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to it, and great location.
Great location.
In Monrovia.
Yeah.
Just can't beat the location there. So we're all excited.
Yep,
And
Yeah, we
are.
Sounds
too.
like you're locked and loaded and ready to go.
You got a lot of
I'm on a
cheerleaders.
rail now, so yeah,
It's
it's coming. But I'll tell you, we're probably gonna have several soft openings before the grand opening, because I want to make sure everybody as part of that team is dialed in and ready to serve.
Well, good deal.
It's
We're looking
exciting.
forward to it. Appreciate you being on the show today and
you.
sharing all the exciting stuff that you've got going on. And speaking of exciting stuff, I know
Yep.
y'all been working on this Brunswick stew, so I can't wait to dig into that.
That's
Yeah, it
right,
smells
with the
wonderful.
HickoryStore barbecue pork in there. And as always, a huge shout out and thank you to our wonderful sponsors.
Yeah.
So I'm hungry. Y'all ready to eat?
Yeah, let's-
I am,
All right, let's
yeah.
do it.